When you buy your dream house, you imagine peace, safety, and the promise of a better future. But for one family in Westfield, New Jersey, their dream turned into an unrelenting nightmare, one that remains unsolved to this day. It began in 2014. Derek and Maria Broaddus had just purchased a beautiful 6-bedroom home at 657 Boulevard, a stately residence in an upscale neighborhood. They had worked hard, saved for years, and were ready to raise their 3 children in what seemed like the perfect place. But almost immediately after moving in, the letters started. Anonymous, handwritten, and addressed simply to the new owner. And what those letters contained would terrify them and the entire country. The first envelope arrived just days after the sale closed. There was no return address, no name, just a plain white envelope. Inside, in block handwriting, were these words: "Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard. Allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. How did you end up here? Did 657 Boulevard call to you with its force within?" The writer went on to describe the house with unsettling intimacy. They spoke of watching the property for decades, of how it had been their family's duty for generations. They asked personal questions. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out. First, Derek thought it was a prank. But then came the details. The letter mentioned the Broaddus children by nickname. It described them as if the writer had already seen them playing. And then came the threat. Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Better for me. It has been my obsession. And now it is your turn. The Broaddus family tried to dismiss the first letter as some sick joke. But days later, another envelope arrived. This time, the watcher grew bolder. I am the watcher. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s. My father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time. Do you know the secrets of 657 Boulevard? Do you know what lies within the walls? The letter went on to describe the layout of the house in chilling detail, even mentioning the exact rooms where the children slept. I see you have moved some of the rooms around. It will help me to know where each of you sleeps, especially the children. Once I know their names, I will call to them. Derek and Maria were terrified. Who could be watching them so closely? Who knew the house so well? They called the police. Officers read the letters and took statements. But there were no fingerprints, no clues, nothing. The only thing that was clear was that someone was watching. As the weeks passed, the letters grew darker. 657 Boulevard is anxious for you to move in. It is begging for you to bring me your young blood. Have they found what is in the walls yet? In time, they will. The watcher mocked them, taunted them, hinted at violence. Will the young blood play in the basement? I would not let them. Too far from upstairs. If you were up there, you would never hear them scream. The Broadduses were horrified. They kept their children away from the windows, terrified to let them outside. But the letters kept coming. Are you the ones who brought me the young blood I asked for? Once I know their names, I will draw them to me. I pass by many times a day. The house is mine. You don't know what the house means to me. It is my life, my blood. Do you know the secrets of 657 Boulevard? The tone grew more violent, more unhinged. It has been the subject of my family for decades. I will know who is in each bedroom. I will know who sleeps in which bed, who is in which room. I can see you. You cannot hide from me. Do you fear me? You should. The case exploded into the media. Reporters swarmed Westfield. Everyone became a suspect. The police interviewed neighbors, examined handwriting samples, and staked out the street. But nothing. The watchers seemed to know everything and reveal nothing. Some suspected an angry neighbor who resented the Broadduses moving in. Others believed it was someone who had bid on the house and lost. But the letters contained details no stranger should have known. The watcher knew the children's names, their habits, their rooms. Someone close was watching. The Broadduses were consumed with fear. They couldn't move in. Their children begged to live in their new home, but the risk was too great. Derek and Maria tried to sell the house, but every buyer backed out after learning the truth. They rented it for a time, but even the tenants received letters. The watcher wouldn't let go. One of the last letters was the most chilling. You have changed it and made it so fancy. It cries for the past and what used to be in the time when I roamed its halls. When I ran from room to room imagining the life with the rich occupants there. And now I watch and wait for the day when the young blood will be mine again. 657 Boulevard is mine. It always will be. The Broadus family never moved in. They eventually sold the house at a loss, desperate to escape. To this day, no one knows who the watcher was. The identity of the stalker remains a mystery. No arrests were ever made. Theories abound. Some believe it was a disturbed neighbor, driven by jealousy or obsession. Others believe it was a prank that spiraled out of control. But the letters were too intimate, too consistent, too real. And perhaps the most terrifying possibility is this. The watcher is still out there, watching another house, watching another family, waiting. What makes the story of the watcher so horrifying is not blood or violence. It's the invasion of something we all hold sacred, our home. A stranger, faceless, nameless, standing just outside your window, watching your children, describing your every move, threatening not from the shadows of a forest or the depths of a mountain, but from the street you thought was safe. 657 Boulevard still stands in Westfield, New Jersey. Families live there. Children play in its rooms. Life goes on. But somewhere, perhaps even still on that street, someone remembers the letters. Someone remembers the promise. And perhaps someone is still watching.